Sometimes when I'm out in the spring, in the snow and the cold and the mud, I wonder what I'm doing, because it's just kind of miserable out planting onions in the garden in March or early April, whenever it is that we do it. And once you get those planted and they start growing, then you kind of get excited, but it takes like all summer long for the onions to really be ready to go. Well, we're kind of to that point, and what we found is like the onions will stand up like this, and then when it's about time for them to be harvested, normally they'll flop over like this, and it's kind of an indication that they're done growing and it's time to harvest the onions. Well, this year we've had a lot of wind, and so it kind of blew my onions over on their own. So I've just left the tops down and let them just continue to grow. And they've probably got another 2 or 3 weeks before I really harvest the onions, but they're really starting to grow, and I think they've done just like an amazing job this year. These are some of the best onions I've had for a while. So this is a variety that is called Candy, and the Candies are really mild, delicious onions. But look at the size of that onion. Like nice big onions this year. I mean, that's big enough I can barely get my hands around the onions. So that's one I should take to the state fair this year for some nice onions. Gorgeous. The candy onions are kind of flat on the top and on the bottom, and so they're a little bit more oblong instead of rounded. So as you can see, it's kind of flat on the top and on the bottom, and that's just the way they grow. But these onions will keep really well. What we'll do when we store them is we'll just leave the tops on them, and I'll put them in a warm, dry location for 6 weeks, sometimes 8 weeks, like in the barn, somewhere where it's warm and dry, but where the sun doesn't shine right on them. And we'll let them sit there for the 6 to 8 weeks. They'll develop that nice hard outer wrapper skin, and then we'll cut the tops off. I'll put them in an onion bag, put them down in the basement where it's 38 to 45 degrees, and we'll store them there and use them all winter long. But when I dig them up, I like to expose that root system. So when we first pull the onions up, we'll leave them upside down or on their sides out in the garden. Let the sun hit that root system. It'll dry those roots up really quick. It'll start the curing process. And then we'll take them, put them in that warm, dry location, let them sit for 6 to 8 weeks. Then they'll be perfect for storage. Now, another variety we've got is just like right back here. Watch out for that sunflower. But here's my big daddy, not my big daddy, Dolce Grande. So this is a Dolce Grande. This is a white onion compared to a yellow onion, so you can see the coloration difference. But the size on these is almost as big, and they're going to grow more in the next couple weeks. And this is one of the colossal size onions. Like, it can get even bigger to the point where I can't even get my hands all the way around it. And these keep really, really well. They're more of a 6-month keeper, where the candies are about 4 months. So you'll get October, November, December, January out of the candies, sometimes into February. The Dolce Grandes will keep into February, March, no problem. So they'll keep really, really well. So excited about how the onions look. They're looking great. They taste amazing. We've been eating them for the last couple months, and give them a couple more weeks and they'll be just like perfect to dig up, to prepare, and get ready to store for the wintertime.